What do you want right now? What goals are you willing to actually work for? And what goals will serve you if you meet them? What would your life look like if you met those goals? And what would it look like if you didn't meet those goals? Remember, goals are supposed to be hard and they're supposed to be uncomfortable to achieve. But if it's that feeling on the other side that makes it worth the uncomfortable times, and that's called growth. The more uncomfortable we are, the more we grow into the person that we want to be. Hi guys, welcome back for another episode of Beyond the Scale. I'm so happy that you're here with us today. So today we're talking about something that I love to talk about, and it is wishing and wanting things that you're not actually willing to do the work for. So growing up, I was kind of surrounded by the dialogue a lot of times that, wouldn't it be nice if, wouldn't it be great if we had this, if money were no object? And I was constantly hearing people say that. And it had me thinking, do they actually want these things? Would they actually be happy if they had them? Are they willing to do the work to gain what that person did the work to have? And so when we continuously talk like this, we train our minds to either do two things. We want and wish for everything, or we wish for nothing because everything just seems so unattainable. So what happened to just working for something that we wanted so bad? Stop wishing your life away and start working for things that you actually want. I don't want to be an idea collector. I want to be an action taker. Too often, we lean into the desire to have what somebody else wants or what somebody else has. And there's just so much noise in the world that the vast majority is coming from the media, constantly persuading us to want and feel the need to have something that we might actually not want for ourselves. So let me give you a real life example, something that happened to me recently. So I had the great opportunity of attending a book launch event in Charlotte, North Carolina back in May for Ed Mylett's book, The Power of One More. And at the event, I met a new friend, Jess. She's actually from California, which is where I am today. And after hearing him speak and one of his friends, Andy Frisilla talked about 75 hard. And my friend looked over to me and said, we should do 75 hard together. And 75 hard is hard. And just if you haven't ever heard of it before, let me give you the rundown. So 75 hard, you need to drink a gallon of water a day, read 10 pages of a book, follow a nutrition plan, and cut out all alcohol. This is actually a year-long program and it has multiple levels, but 75 hard is just the first level, is the first 75 days. Well, to me, all of those things seemed possible to do for 75 days. Plus, I love to work out. So 2 45-minute workouts, I could do this. Count me in. Easier said than done. Before the first 75 days, I had told my entire team about it at Fit Body Bootcamp, and I encouraged others to do it with me. One of my coaches, Shelby, eagerly jumped on board, and she said that she would do it too. Now, let me just paint the picture for you of what my life looked like at this time. So my son had just turned 1. And my daughter was 3.5, and they were in their last week of school before they were going to get out for the summer. And I had elected to keep them home with me this summer because as a business owner, one of the glories of having your own business is controlling your own schedule. So I wanted to be able to spend more time with them this summer. And I thought that was totally possible. That was a decision that I quickly questioned after a few weeks into the summer. Being a mom and running a business is really hard, a whole nother level of hard. So I started 75 hard on the day after Memorial Day. We actually spent our Memorial Day at one of our locations doing the Murph. And I was so excited about the program. I had the app downloaded on my phone. I had my book picked out, which is The Power of One More by Ed Mylett. It's an amazing book. If you have not read it already, I have a bunch of other copies, so you can DM me if you want one because I'll gladly mail you a copy. One of the best books I've ever read. So I was a few days in. I was checking in with my new friend, Jess, on the West Coast. We were cheering each other on. However, at the end of the day, I was just looking at this program as a weight loss program. I wasn't looking at the benefit it had on my mental capacity or my productivity or the mental toughness that I was gaining. I started to second guess my decision, and I quickly gave up because I found it too hard to work out twice a day. And quite honestly, I felt a little selfish for taking on a challenge like this at such a busy season in life with my kids. With them home with me all summer, I could barely find time to work out once a day. I couldn't work out twice a day. Oh, and one of those workouts had to be outside, rain or shine. So talk about a whole nother level of hard. Like I said, 75 hard, it's called that for a reason. Plus I had work commitments, other responsibilities that needed to take priority. So what did I do? I gave up voluntarily without a fight. I just said, I'm not doing it. And the truth is, it didn't matter enough to me. I didn't want it bad enough. I wasn't willing to put the work in. It wasn't benefiting me in any great way at that time in my life. It wasn't serving a purpose. And I'm not bashing 75 hard. My coach, Shelby, at Fit Body Bootcamp, she ended up completing it. And oh my gosh, like I was in awe at the fact that she was able to do that for 75 days. It is seriously a life-changing program if you want it bad enough. But you can't let anybody else tell you, hey, let's do this together if you're not willing to put the work in. And this is why many people just say they want to lose weight or take better care of themselves, and they don't actually succeed. They don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't like that feeling, and they end up staying in their comfort zone for so long that it's so hard to break that cycle. This is applicable to pretty much every area of our life. So here are my tips when you are setting a new goal for yourself. Let's first make sure you want it bad enough before you make any decisions on what you're going to take on and what you're going to try. Number one, does your goal serve a purpose? Ask yourself, what problem is this solving, and what will my life look like if I actually meet my goal? It is so hard to stay motivated today with all of the noise in the world, with everything that we have going on. So make sure that your goal is going to serve a purpose for you. Make sure that your why is strong enough. So when I'm setting a new goal, I like to play the why game, and you can play this for as many, times as you want, but usually I'll do it like 5 times. So here's my example. I want to lose 5% body fat. Why? Because I will feel better and I'll gain more muscle. Why does that matter? Because if I feel better and I'll be happier and confident. Why do you need to be happier and more confident? To be a better mom, to be a better wife. Why do you need to be a better mom and be a better wife? And so on and so on. You get the point. So just keep asking yourself why. Why does this matter? And then answer your question and then ask why for your answer. And that's the easiest way to making sure that your goal is really setting a purpose. Number 2, think about your timeline. How much time do you actually need to achieve this goal? How much time do you need to set aside to work on this goal? Does your timeline match up, and is it reasonable? Like, are you actually going to be able to reach this goal in the amount of time that you have? So if your goal is to lose 20 pounds, your timeline is not going to be 30 days. Could you lose 20 pounds in 30 days? Sure. But it's not going to be in a healthy way, and it'll be likely a lot harder to keep it off in the long run. Number 3, will you have support, or will you be tackling this goal by yourself? Some goals are so personal that you won't have anyone alongside you on this journey. You'll keep that goal on the inside. It'll be more private, and that's okay. However, many goals will take a lot of motivation and support from others to keep going and to stay focused. Do you have the right people in your life to support you right now to achieve this goal? When setting a new goal, make your willingness to do the work so great that nothing can stop you from achieving it. But when you want everything, you get nothing. So be selective with your goal setting. So here's another story for you. I love to tell stories. I just think it's the best way to relate to other people. And I live a very fun, full life, and I'm full of stories all the time. So here's another one for you. I was at another personal development mastermind event in Palm Springs a few months back, and I was able to network with some of the top performers in the personal development industry. It was incredible. And one evening, we had the opportunity to go to the most incredible home that I had ever stepped foot in. It was like a small resort out in the Palm Springs desert area. I'd never been out there before. Truly beautiful. As we were walking out of this home, one of the ladies that I shared an Uber with, she looked over to me and she said, "Man, I wish I lived in a house like this. This is just amazing." And I looked at her and I said, "Would you really want to live in a house this big? Would you really want that?" And she just kind of laughed and said, "Well, yeah, if I had like a groundskeeper and a housekeeper." And it just had me thinking how we see other people with this high status in life and we think that that's what our goal should be too. And in reality, like, I don't want that. My definition of success is so completely different than everyone else's. So I want you to ask yourself, what do you want right now? What goals are you willing to actually work for? And what goals will serve you if you meet them? What would your life look like if you met those goals? And what would it look like if you didn't meet those goals? Remember, goals are supposed to be hard and they're supposed to be uncomfortable to achieve. But if it's that feeling on the other side that makes it worth the uncomfortable times. And that's called growth. The more uncomfortable we are, the more we grow into the person that we want to be. So my biggest takeaway for you today is to treat each new goal, an idea, wish, and want with respect and careful consideration. Don't just make goals to make them or say you want something when you have no intentions of doing the work that is involved to achieving them. Because there are people out there working hard every day and making a huge impact in the world. Be intentional with your goals and how you're going to achieve them. And I promise you, it's going to be much easier to get to the point that you want to be at. So that's all I have for you guys today. I am a huge goal setter. I actually have 6 goals that I set for myself in 2022. And 5 of those goals were realistic goals. They were goals that I could take action on. They were goals that I had a way of achieving them. And I even thought about the obstacles that I was going to face to meet those goals. However, they were possible. And I'm proud to say I met 5 of them, but there was one goal on there. It's a God-sized goal. It's a God-sized dream. And it was one that would be really, really, really hard to reach. You know, that goal can be on my 2023 goal list, and I can work harder towards achieving that goal. But I do think it's important that even though I say set realistic goals and a roadmap for achieving them, I do find it important to sometimes sprinkle in some huge goals that you can just kind of have in the back of your mind and try to work towards achieving those as well. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you got value from this episode, please subscribe to our channel, like, and share with all your friends. And I look forward to connecting with you again soon.